Peace. Peace and love. Salute. Salute to the good people. Hope everybody is well. Peace and blessings to the good family. Salute. Salute. I'm just checking my little stuff here. Hopefully I am much more sounding less glowy, compared to last week, right? Hopefully I am sounding back to normal. I did a test run earlier today so that we don't have that particular situation, right? I can't say issue because you guys heard me okay. But of course, we had some extra frills that were unexpected as far as my sound. So hopefully I am much more intelligible to you guys and pretty much sounding back to normal. I had to figure out that whole thing, child. I was like, we can't, no. Want to be as clear as possible for the good people. Hopefully everybody is well. Let me know if you guys could hear me okay. Let me know if the sound is A1. Yeah, I mean, blessings to the brothers and the sisters. Let's see who we got in the building. I like to do my salutations. Pardon me for the few minutes of delay. I just wanted to make sure that the setup was good. And yeah, I can't wait to dive in to today's discussion. Is definitely a lot of energy going around, a lot of excitement, a lot of pride, a lot of questions answered. And I can't wait to dive in to, a bit of these things with the good family. You know what I mean? Excellent to see you. Wonderful to have you guys here. Let's see who we got in the building. Let me do my quick salutations to the people as you make your way in. Big love to everybody who's in the building. I see you guys. Let's see who we got first. Oh my goodness, we got the King Jut in the building. Infinite blessings to the King Jut. Hold on, let me make my screen bright, you guys, so I could see you clearly. Salute to the King Jut. He says, salute to the beautiful warrior queen. Infinite blessings to you always, King, with that wonderful energy that you always bring. Lovely to see you as always. We got the King Shogun in the building. He says, salute my brothers and sisters. You already know what time it is. Big love to the brothers and the sisters and to you as well, Shogun. Thank you for showing up. We got the Mac, the Macadocious Mac of the South. That is, hello, in the building. He says, salute Queen SugarFreeMars. Blessings to my sister. You already know what time it is, Mac. Always wonderful to see you, King. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. Oh my goodness, here he go. There he go, y'all. My twin, the King Daryl Anderson, 10 toes as usual. Okay, ain't nothing new over here with the twin. Salute to the King Daryl. He says, salute to the beautiful queen, aka my twin Sugar Free. Salute to the rest of the kings and the queens in the chat. You already know what time it is. And yes, yes, Daryl. Yes, twin. Just like every other week, every other time, get them damn nines up. You feel me? You already know how we step in. Yes, indeed. We're going to get into this, twin. Devin is pillow fisted. What type of pillows are these niggas sleeping on? When did pillows break noses, child? We're going to get into all of that and more, King. All of that and more. I intend to chop it up with the good brothers and sisters about. Definitely want to divulge all of these interesting aspects and narratives that we have unfortunately been made subject to for quite some time, right? Salute to the King Snoopy in the building. He says, dream team and the new. Yes, you already know what it's hitting for, King Snoop. You feel me? Devin Haney over everybody out this bitch. Okay? That's how we stepping. That's how we always been stepping. That's how we gonna keep stepping. Period. Salute to the King Bonnie in the building. He says, SugarFreeMars and chat. Peace. Big blessings to you, King. Thank you so much to the King Bonnie for coming through. Salute to the King NBA D Nice. He said, salute, beautiful queen. Infinite blessings to the King NBA. Lovely to see you. We got Vince in the building. Infinite blessings to you. Thank you so much. Always wonderful to see you. Yes, here he go. Here go my other hitter, my other gunner, my comrade, My number one comrade is in the building, 10 toes with the goddess. He says, salute to the queen of boxing media, my number one comrade. I'm on these haters all weekend. It's Haney time. Yes, indeed, King. We stepping heavy on these clowns because they leaking whole juice everywhere. I'm sure of it. Salute to the King, Stephen X in the building. Infinite blessings to the King, Stephen. He says, peace and blessings, Queen. What a time to be alive. Devin Haney over everybody. Yes, indeed, King. You already know what time it is. We've been telling these chumps for I don't know how long, and finally they get the goddamn message. You understand? Shit, we're going to talk about it all tonight, you guys. Let me just scroll through. I don't want to miss any family. Oh, my goodness. Here she is, my Queen Mama Love. Salute to the Queen Mama Love, Jaquila Fields, with that wonderful energy, that wonderful mama, loving, comforting, supportive energy that she brings. Salute to the Queen, Jaquila Fields. She says, salute, beautiful warrior queen, peace and love be yours. Child of love. Yes, indeed, Mama Love. Thank you so much for coming. It's always great to see you and have you in the building with me. And here she go, my beautiful sis. The beautiful, beautiful Cammy Cam is in the building. That's Convos with Cam. That is, you feel me? She says, salute to my beautiful sis. Love to you always. And you already know what time it is, sis. Infinite love to you. Wonderful to have you here with that fiery energy that I love from my sister. You feel me? Okay. We have somebody named John Martin in the building with a 9. Salute to you. Peace and blessings to you. We got the King Black Martial Arts Society. He says, salute, baby. Oh, salute to you. Peace and blessings to you. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate the good brothers and sisters. We have, and the new 100, the African warrior. Is that what that says? Okay, now salute to you, King Andrew 100. All right. Infinite blessings to you as well. Thank you so much for joining. The King Joseph Townsend in the building. Big, big salute to the King Joseph. He says, salute to the Queen Sugar Free, aka Miss Ether. Oh, I like that one. Miss Ether. I got a lot of nicknames. I love that one, though. That one. I'm gonna have to add that one, closer to the top of the list of nicknames that you guys give me. I appreciate that. Salute to you, King. Thank you so much. And my other beautiful sister, Queen, the Empress, Emma, is in the building. She says, peace, love, and abundance to you, lovely SugarFreeMars. And she put a 9. Thank you so much, beautiful Queen, for coming through. I definitely appreciate you in the building. As always, it's good to see you. All right. From week to week, that beautiful sisterhood that I love so much. Thank you guys so much. I'm just scrolling through here to see. I don't want to miss any family. Salute to Curtis Robinson in the building. I see you. Thank you so much. The King Dankfather is in the building. He says, the Queen Sugar Free with some hearts and some smiley faces. And okay, now with the love, you guys. I'm feeling this energy. Big, big love from my family tonight, as always. And I'm sending it right back to you guys. Salute to the King Uncommon in the building. One of the generals of the Butt Promotions. You feel me? Salute to the King Uncommon. He says, salute to the warrior queen, SugarFreeMars. And salute to the 3-division champion, the WBO champion of the world, Devin, the Dream Haney. You already know what time it is. It's Haney time out this bitch. Okay? Check your watches. That's what time it is out here. Salute to my big brother, Drew. Drew Titan is in the building. He says, sis, infinite blessings and infinite love to the King Drew. And shout out to the entire LDBC family. Yes. Okay. So let's see what we got here, you guys, because of course there's a lot of grounds that I want to touch on. And I figure that I'm going to try to consolidate it as best I can, because of course we can really go into salute to the King follower. Oh, look at King follower. Is this the first time I'm seeing you in the chat, follower? Big salute to the King follower of No Man. Okay. Wonderful to have you. I don't remember if I've seen you in my chat before, but it's wonderful to have you. Wonderful to see you. If you have been here, then hopefully you make it consistent, right? Be great to keep you here as well. Infinite blessings to you, King follower. Yeah. So Yes, you guys, there's a lot that I want to divulge with you because there are so many aspects that um, we can get into, right? But I'm going to try not to be long-winded, right? I'm going to do my best to kind of not be too long-winded because I think a lot of it has been said across the platforms of the family, right? A lot of people have spoken their minds about this, and I think generally speaking, we all pretty much share a lot of the same points of thinking. I think our disposition on this entire thing pretty much reflect and mirror one another's, right? And so, but I definitely wanted to give my iteration um, of the things that I have been seeing because I don't think it can be overstated, right? A lot of the things that we've been seeing, a lot of the hypocrisy that the real ones have been calling out. Um, and I think that we need the truth tellers, as my comrade Coach Hudson would say. We need the truth tellers, being very, very vehement about speaking that truth, about bringing the intelligibility to the issues that we have been, um, witnessing in boxing as a whole, and particularly a lot of these disparaging aspects, have been reflected through, unfortunately, through. Um, Devin Haney, right? Through, I don't know, through the lens of Devin Haney and his career. Okay. Um, so many things have been exposed because of the ventures of DHP, right? Devin and Bill Haney, and the whole network of DHP as a whole, right? Because they are a tree that has roots that extend, right? So collectively speaking, but of course, the most premier would be the young king and the goat Bill. Now, I think like real talk, a lot of this should be um, studied as far as the social dynamics and the social constructs that really, really have been prevailing through, like I said, the Devin Haney lens. You understand? Because we've seen a lot of behavioral aspects come to the surface. And you guys know that I always tell you that it's bigger than boxing and that it extends far deeply into the social cultural dynamics. These displays that we get in boxing are only reflections of the larger cultural social constructs, right? And as we are talking about elite Black warriorship, you guys know that that's something I put at the forefront at all times because this is a sport that we dominate, right? And I think our focus should never be removed from understanding the aspects and the importance of the elite Black presence, and what that entails and what that conjures up for people on a psychological level, on an emotional level, and of course, on an entertainment level. All of these things work in tandem. And I think like Devin Haney is a case study in and of himself. And I think a lot of what has been, thrown at this man, thrown at his development, a lot of what has been speculated about him, all of the propagandizement that we have been seeing against him, really, really needs to be spoken about and placed at the forefront as much as possible as far as our dialogue, particularly as Black boxing fans. That's an imperative for me. You understand? I make no bones about that. Okay. I shout out and I respect every single warrior that steps into that ring because I respect the warrior heart. The warrior heart is not tied or limited to any social political constructs. Warrior heart existed before there was anything called a body politic. Warriorship existed before there was any, systemic, aspects in place to marginalize a people. Warriorship had existed before then. Warriorship is as old as time because courage is as old as time. Bravery and valor and uprightness is as old as time. Okay? It's in the bloodline. It supersedes frivolity. It supersedes any form of superficiality. It's a part of one's character. Okay? And so I think what has gone awry in boxing is the fact that a lot of people have been gauging and approaching the concept of valor, the concept of warriorship, and just uprightness as a man or a woman. They have superseded that. They have usurped that and supplanted that with everything nonsensical. And they have supplanted that with all manners of juvenility. And I think that is what has had this beautiful sport in many ways go asunder, slowly sinking. Okay? And it's a limitation that I wish can be absolutely removed, as a whole from the sport. But in doing that, that would mean, like I said, because everything it works together, that would mean that socially and culturally, that there will be some things that individuals need to look at within themselves in order to reduce, if not completely eradicate, at least in order to reduce as much as possible these delinquent character traits that end up bleeding into the sport, because it is men and women themselves who lack character and heart. And so they bring their cowardice to the sport. They bring their laziness to the sport. They bring their deficiencies to the sport. Okay? And what is put at the forefront, instead of being galvanized by the display of one's temerity, by the display of one's gall and passion, instead what we are galvanized by is the fickle, the trivial, the meaninglessness. And so that with that at the forefront, it is then difficult to salute uprightness of character, excellence, passion, triumph through difficulty, being able to bounce back. Concepts like this get overlooked and bypassed and sidestepped when we got a whole bunch of cowardly people bleeding their mental logistical deficiencies into the sport because they themselves cannot or have not been allowed the space to exemplify it in their own lives. So there is a convoluting, in other words, brothers and sisters, if you guys understand what I'm talking about. There is a convoluting of the things that we should be celebratory about, the things that we should be upholding and getting our support to. That is what has been soiling the sport. I have an issue with that, brothers and sisters, because I am not a perfect woman. But I'll be goddamned if I ever allow myself, to the best of my ability, so long as I am conscious, to stoop so low as to generate a worthless, baseless, purposeless hate train on somebody of my culture, or anybody for that fact, who does not have it coming. Simply because, I don't know, it's Sunday and I want to hate on a nigga today. Simply because, I don't know, they got a better car than I do. So, I don't know, perhaps maybe because they were raised in a family construct that I had been deficient in or of, or for what any, other trivial, meaningless, worthless reason that one can think up for themselves. I think that the moral, or at least a large portion of the Devin Haney journey that every brother and sister ought to learn from, and that many of us conscious brothers and sisters are constantly inspired by, is the fact that following one's passion vehemently and unapologetically, being supported by a good family system, not falling into the traps and tricks that society has on every corner for our brothers and sisters, being upright enough to acknowledge a spiritual power, whatever that may be for you, and to have the gall and the audacity to follow through on your own word and your own vision as an upright man or woman. That is something that every brother and sister ought to be galvanized by, ought to be motivated by, and ought to take note of, because, ladies and gentlemen, it does not matter what form that level of credence and heart shows up in. It does not have to be somebody on a main stage like Devin Haney for you to get that inspiration. It just so happens that this brother has a platform and we can see him shining, right? But it's the same thing for the brother who gets no camera time, who is out here going to school or going to work or feeding his family or kissing his babies, or the sister out here, teaching herself about her history, her culture, trying to aspire to become a better woman to her husband, a potential mother to her children. Whatever it is, brothers and sisters, on the main stage or not, our people ought to be striving for our own excellence. It does not mean that the road is going to be without its challenges or without the mistakes being made, because, lovely people, that's how you get made. Like I've told you time and time again, you get made through the fire. There is nothing wrong with challenges, brothers and sisters. We have to be open to that. But we also have to be open to our own potential and understanding that we can live that out. We can realize that. It can be materialized. And it is forever expanding, forever adapting to the environment, forever growing and fecundating at all times, so long as your eyes are open and your consciousness is open. I get passionate about the young King Devin, not only because he is my number one fighter, my favorite fighter in the world, but I look at him and I see my little brother. You know what I'm saying? I look at him and I see my cousins. And I hold him in high respect. I really do. I support this young king's journey. And I also know, the storms that he has walked through, at least from the outside looking in, right? I see the public castigation that was intentionally set out, to eat that young man alive. I know the traps that were set. I know the narratives that were spun. And to see him do what I knew he would do, what we knew he would do, brothers and sisters, to see him do that, to realize that, was all the statement that I needed up until that point, because it needed to be made. It needed to be made. And it needed to be done emphatically, which it was. The past 2 years, ladies and gentlemen, have been nothing short of a roller coaster for that young man. I think we can all agree. Okay. A hurricane of everything from peril to gossip to subterfuge, contrived, deceitful propaganda, baseless accusations, just downright hate on this young king. Everything that you can throw at this man's path, was pretty much and damn near thrown at this young man's path. Everything that he had to withstand, I sit and I think about that. And I think about how far he has to go because he is still a young man. He is only 27 years old. So that, in a sense, even though he is so highly accomplished, this young king is just getting started. Just getting started. And look at all he's been through already. It's a real testament, y'all. Real talk. Everything that has been done to deride, to disparage, to lambaste, to satirize this young king. Got all types of whole ass niggas from corner to goddamn corner, waving their rainbow flags, snapping their necks, popping their gum, and patting their motherfucking weaves in a heartbeat to lambaste this king, to castigate him. And it was all for a lost cause, as proven last evening. All of that rainbow waving, pom-pom shaking, dick motherfucking glazing. Yeah, because I'm coming down heavy on you pussy tonight. The fucking glazing was out of control. And we're going to keep it a buck about that. All of that shit. All of that talking. All of that gossiping was for naught. I can imagine the looks on some of these dudes' faces, these sassy chumps. Can't wait to cast stones at this king. Because you don't got shit going on in your own goddamn lives. These people out here spinning this nonsense about this young king, out here trying to make a name for himself, out here trying to build legacy for himself. And all you can do is derail, detract. All the dick glazing that y'all did, just glazing from fucking corner to goddamn corner. It's sickening. And like I have to say time and time again, ladies and gentlemen, it has nothing to do with you picking an athlete over another. I'm not talking simplistically here. I'm trying to get to the marrow. Has nothing to do with picking an athlete. You can like who you like. But to shun or disparage somebody's attempt at making themselves, at unfolding their potential, especially your brother, is sickening to me. There's so much more that these fucking dick riders could have given their voices to. I wish they were this loud when Ryan Garcia was fucking doping. Where were their voices then? This pussy's being called pretty and you niggas on your knees with your tongues out in support of that shit, making excuses for that coward. Where were your voices to speak against that? You sassy ass niggas got a lot of fucking chest poking out when it comes to the wrong shit. When it comes to frivolousness. We can't keep you away from that shit. When it's time for you to stand 10 toes powerfully and to show a level of having a spine, turns out you're all spineless pussies. No wonder you run to the thick of gossip like some bitches. Hoe ass niggas. How the fuck do women lay down with you niggas? Y'all are disgraces to manhood. Bopping your fucking gums out here like some fucking chumps. Shit is sickening to me. The things that I have been sitting back and witnessing. Not only as a boxing fan, but as, unfortunately, your sister. Because it's a lot of our own who have been way fucking out of character and out of line and off code. Can't even fucking spell code. That's how off these niggas been. You want to run to uphold things that don't represent you. Because y'all don't know your own potential. That's why y'all scared of another man's potential when he realizes it. That's what's inciting that cowardly behavior in a lot of these dudes who have platforms. Through all of that, brothers and sisters, the young King Devin, the GOAT Bill Haney, all of DHP, and I'm including the supporters of Devin, a part of that DHP crew, because we have upheld this king. We have not only believed in him, it was not fanfare, it was not the waving of fucking pom-poms. We saw his potential, and we cleared the road for him to get there. Because we talked about him. We created videos about him. We bought his fucking tickets. We bought the pay-per-views. We spoke his name to our friends. This, that, and the third. We stood 10 toes next to this king to one degree or another. So I include us in that conversation of the extended DHP family. Because we rocked with this king. Not because it was fucking cute or a fad, or because he took a cute selfie and got his nails done. It's because we love boxing. And because we love boxing, we know the history of boxing. Because we know the history of boxing, our beautiful black legends, we looked at that young king and said, "You up next. I got you." Because I know what greatness looks like. Because I respect the history of the sport and the warriorship of our black giants. That's why I can look at the young king and salute him. Despite all of that nonsense the young king and the GOAT Bill Haney had to go through, ladies and gentlemen, they showed up in spectacular fashion last night in their official debut at the 147-pound division. 3-time world champion. 3-division world champ. In addition to being the youngest undisputed champ in the 4-belt era. Put some respect on his name. Matter of fact, you ain't got to give him shit, you pussies. He took it last night. He walked into that battlefield and he took it. Spectacular work from the young King Devin and his team, who came up with a phenomenal game plan that saw him to victory. Clear, unabridged victory. There was no child's play going on the DHP side, although I can't say the same for the other side, even though I got to give my salutations to the Normans, because even after being put down, he got up and he finished that fight on his feet, all 12 rounds. So salute to his warrior heart. Those two beautiful brothers gave us a show. And for that reason, the Team Norman always had my respect, because they said yes to the call. So I can't shit on them too bad, even though they're going to get this work in some other departments a bit later. But salute to that family and that warriorship. And like I said before, whatever ventures they have going on from this point forward, may they be victorious and successful in that. Wonderful debut from the young King Devin in his first official fight. And he is crowned king again. What a way to smite and absolutely demolish and decimate all of the nonsensical banter, all of the worthless, confabulated absurdity that us real boxing fans have had to bear witness to for the past 2 years, people. And truthfully, the disdain for the young king goes even far beyond the 2-year span. The propagandizement of that whole generated hate train for the young king is something like 5 years in the making, I would say. But certainly, I would say over the past 2 years, it took a more sinister turn concerning the whole Ryan Garcia outcome. And let's say the span of 3.5 years, we really started to see a shift as far as how he was approached and handled by the media as soon as he began his quest for undisputed. Young King was ducked at every turn by fighters from Tio to Kambosos to goddamn Loma to goddamn Tank Davis. We know the story. Nonetheless, at least 2 of those men he managed to conquer, which was Kambosos and Loma. And in doing so, he became the youngest undisputed champion in the 4-belt era. The reality is that young King, every time he has climbed higher and higher in his stature, he put fear in the hearts of every coward in the sport, in and around the sport. I am talking from fighters to media lapdogs to higher up conspiring executives to so-called independent media and fucking Johnny-come-lately fanboys. He has sparked fear in the hearts. Because what they are looking at is somebody who stands to carry the future of this sport into greatness. And not only is he doing that, ladies and gentlemen, not only is he at the forefront, not only is he holding the torch of that, while we have people like Terrence Crawford, who will be making his exit out of the sport from, at some particular point. It is Devin Haney who holds the torch of Black excellence in boxing to the future. It is in Devin's hands. There is no other athlete in boxing who is holding the torch. Period. There are a lot of brothers behind him, and they are all gallant. Those who are about that warriorship and uprightness, like the young Abdullah Masons, like the young David Benavidez, Shakur Stevensons. You know what I mean? The people who are walking uprightly and who tend, to keep on that path. Yes. We got some kings that we looking out for. But there's no doubt in my mind that Devin Haney is the forebearer of the greatness that is to stand the test of time for the next decade. This is why the lambasting was so unrelenting. For whatever reason, instead of being proud of this, instead of looking to cultivate it and support it as best as one can, for the lifespan of boxing, how could you say you love this sport and lambaste somebody who stands to keep it alive? What you gonna do when Canelo is gone? What you gonna do when Bud is gone? When there's no Charlos to speak of? What you gonna do when Usyk is out of here? Joshua, Wilder. These kings got to go home and rest. They're the OGs. They're the elders. They will continue closer and closer to becoming the status of an elder. And they deserve that because they gave blood for the sport. It is going to be to the next up to continue the line. How dare you smite somebody on the path to carry that legacy forward? Somebody who has done it uprightly and only uprightly from the time he turned professional and even before then. Makes no sense. Speaking of uprightness, ladies and gentlemen, before I go on and check with the brothers and sisters in the chat, give me a moment to cook a little bit. Speaking of uprightness, brothers and sisters, I think like the GOAT Bill Haney is purposely overlooked because he is so valiant. He is so bright. He is such a formidable general, a mastermind in the sport, that he is purposely cast aside. He is purposely, tried to be made a parody of. They tried to parody Bill Haney, right? Because he is affable. He is very personable, right? He has an open personality. He's a great talker, right? And so people kind of take that as some type of, I don't know, show, as some type of put on, right? As if because he is affable and open and willing to talk the talk and chop it up with the fans and then sit in a suit with the executives all at the same time, that somehow he is without intelligence, he is without credence, that he has no foundations. And this could not be, the furthest thing from the truth. Credence and respect to the GOAT Bill Haney, okay? We need to give the credence where the credence is due. He's a phenomenal trainer. He's a wonderful visionary. He's an outstanding teacher, a dedicated father. And he really is erudite in the sport of business and boxing. And he has made a wonderful marriage. He has conjoined them and made a composite that he has mastered in a way that is effective and speaks for itself in boxing. Infinite respect to the GOAT Bill Haney. And I call him the GOAT because of this era, and I can't even think of anything previous really that comes close to what I see of him, even though there are a lot of father-son dynamics that have been wonderful. And shout out to all the father-son duos, right? But I think that Bill Haney, what he has managed to do is bar none, okay? This man coached his son to championship on the highest level for a span of 10 years, brothers and sisters. Let's deal with that. Let's deal with that. Pretty much a damn decade of success, success after success after success from the ground up with his young king, Devin. 135, undisputed. That's where he brought his son to. History making is what he brought to his son's feet. Because he believed in and cultivated his young prince. He said, I see you. And I'm going to redirect this fire, which was going awry at a particular point or just being expressed as young boys tend to express it. And he just said, up, 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 reel it back. I see you got the fire in you now. Let's get this some structure because you're getting out of line, right? Let me channel this fire creatively, purposely, or purposefully, excuse me. Let me get this fire. You got some purpose because I see it in you. You know what I mean? Let me channel it and direct it properly. That's what he did for his young prince. And he brought his young prince ever since then. Victory after victory after victory. No matter the challenges. That fire that he took the time to nourish and cultivate is the fire that gave the Haney name legacy in a way that none of his contemporaries can claim. This is why Bill Haney is the standard, just like his son is in boxing. The credence needs to be given to that man. It needs to be understood, and it need not be played with. Brought his son to 135 undisputed. 140 became a champion in his first fight at that division against the number one, against the champ, Regis Prograis. And here we are yet again, last night, making another debut where he claimed championship from the king of that division, snatched the crown and said, I'm him. This is the prowess and mastery and fortitude of the King Bill Haney, ladies and gentlemen. Talk to me nice. A lot of the pussies out there, it's going to be too heavy for them to deal with. Fuck out the kitchen if it's too hot. Reality is reality. That's what that man did by his side, by the side of his son. By the side of his family name. How could you not celebrate that man, that brother? Whether you are a fan or not. It's not about fanfare. That's the problem that I was calling out earlier. Niggas are too concerned about who they're going to cheerlead for. I don't give a fuck who you wave pom-poms for. Pussies. Respect is respect. And the downfall of the character of these men is exemplified in and around boxing, who withhold that respect. But want all the respect given to the bullshit. Ain't that crazy? Shaking in their goddamn boots when a real one is in the building. But you want me to fucking cheerlead for some bullshit. How backwards is that, brothers and sisters? We're not on that type of time over here. And that's one thing that I knew upon deciding to make my own channel. Shout out to the beautiful king, BFTB, who was one of the kings who inspired me. Shout out to the King Champside, the other beautiful king, whose shoulders I stand on, who inspired me to make this channel. Because they were brave enough to speak truth in boxing as beautiful black men. I said I'm going to bring this beautiful black goddess to the forefront and give my truth too. Because we need the real one stepping 10 toes, not letting this bullshit slide. We need to call this shit out. So I brought up my fire with me. We don't need people playing on our names culturally or anything else. But we also got to call the ones from the culture out when they fucking off code. Because I'm chopping you niggas up too. You stepping out of line, you gonna get this work. Salute to the King Bill Haney. You got to give the respect where the respect is deserved. Dudes out here lacking manhood. They think they can't salute the next man when he's doing good just because, you know, he's wearing the wrong color or he don't got the proper shoe on. Or whatever baseless, childish ass notions these people can think up for themselves. The heartlessness makes me sick to my stomach. Not only is Bill Haney showing levels in boxing, brothers and sisters, and not only did he bring his young prince to championship myriad times, the GOAT Bill Haney is also a true visionary. A visionary. Let that word resonate in your mind. Visionary. That's a powerful word. Everybody has the potential to tap into that. Not a lot of people have the courage to act it out. The visionary prowess of Bill Haney also has to be saluted and respected. While people are more concerned about the next fucking scandalous gossip ass headline, Bill the GOAT Haney has been making moves for countless years, sitting beside the elites at the table, conceiving of and devising plans, not only for his son's greatness, but for a multitude of elite fighters who he provides a level of tutelage to one capacity or degree or another. This is the visionary prowess of Bill Haney. He is not only looking for or toward the success of his seed, he is looking at the beautiful, powerful black elites who he sees the same light and fire and potential in, and he is saying, I see this in you too. And he is guiding them. And he is unafraid to say, I see you. He is conceiving of and devising plans for getting young black warriors to their next destination. That is a powerful brother, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not play. These sassy niggas out here want to make a soap opera out of everything. They want to dramatize, bicker, wave pom-poms for who can get on their knees the longest. This is why they're overlooking valor and valiance. We're not overlooking that here on Sugar Free's page today. The goddess ain't having it. This man got Anthony Yard, for example, as many of you may have heard. Anthony Yard did an interview himself, and a lot of us brothers and sisters who have been privy to this have been talking about this as well. The GOAT Bill Haney got Anthony Yard on this Riyadh season card to face David Benavidez. He got the young Anthony Yard yet another high-profile matchup with one of the best in the sport. He added another notch under Yard's belt, even though Yard was not successful in the outcome. He is successful in his journey and his path as a warrior because, once again, he has experience that can only be had in the center of that ring. And we all know Benavidez, the Mexican monster, is one of them ones, baby. That's another warrior he got to trade swords with. The only defeat is running away from experience, ladies and gentlemen. Salute to Anthony Yard. He didn't run away from nothing. He was presented the opportunity. He trusted the instinct and the prowess of Bill Haney. And he is a rich man because of the experience. That is the wealth. prowess and visionary understanding of Bill Haney brought that man another war. He can say he stood in front of 10 toes. This is the same Bill Haney, brothers and sisters, that inspired the spirit and the temerity of Bud Crawford to be so audacious enough and to have enough goal to say, you know what, I'm going to tackle the self-proclaimed and highly regarded face of boxing in Canelo Alvarez. That's the prowess of Bill Haney that did that sparked that. Where Bud was once reticent about the possibility, or even unaware that one would be a possibility for him. The visionary prowess of Bill incited that flame and said, yes, beautiful brother, you can do it. This is Bud Crawford, ladies and gentlemen, the man who just made the impossible possible. He went directly to the throne of Canelo. And not only did he attack it, assault it, he claimed it for himself. And because of that inspiration, because of his being galvanized by the visionary understanding, this man has cemented in history forever. His name forever. That's what came of taking the direction of Bill Haney. We're not going to try to, trump or thwart the importance of this man and the significant role that this man plays in the sport. We will not thwart that tonight. We will ignite that. We're going to set that on fire for the GOAT Bill Haney tonight. A lot of you people have been so caught up on the soap opera charades of the gossip headlines for I don't know how long that you forgot that this was about legacy. These chumps out here, brothers and sisters, forgot that it was about legacy. What the fuck else? How the fuck do you get detracted? What else are we here to do? Play goddamn patty cake? Is this a circus show or is this boxing? How has the attention span dwindled so much so that people run in a frenzy towards the nonsensical the way that they have been and are ready to shun valiance and a gallant effort, gallant displays of heart and courage? The asininity is beyond me. Prowess of Bill Haney needs all of your respect on it. It is him that had the visionary prowess, the mastery, the expertise, and the fortitude. That's the legendary Bill Haney, brothers and sisters, that lit the torch for Bud Crawford to move to victory. Put all your respect on that man's name. Instead of fucking up your goddamn knee pads for anything mundane, anything irrelevant in this sport, how about these bitch ass niggas learn a thing or two about valor? How about they learn a thing or two about warriorship? How about they learn a thing or two or three or four about black excellence when it's in front of them? Because these bitches, as soon as people, talk about this shit 25 years from now, oh yeah, I was there, now you're here. I was always in support of him. Just like everybody loved Martin Luther King. Just like everybody loved Malcolm X. Meanwhile, while they had him, they quick to throw him in the trash and tell him to sit down and be quiet because they stirring up too much trouble. 1,000 years later, oh, no, that was your brother and you loved him, right? A lot of our people don't know a good thing when they got it in front of them. That's a problem that we have culturally. It is not to say that these things or these men are without flaws. It has nothing to do with the aspect or the conditions of flaw. Who gives a fuck about flaw? Only thing perfect is God, universe, spirit, whatever you want to call it. Allah, Amma, whatever you want to call it, bon Dieu, whatever name you give it. That's perfection. So it isn't a matter of a man and his trials and his challenges and his experiences being flawed or unflawed. Uprightness has to be made through the fire. You need it. You got to pass through it in order to get your valor. So when people try to make the excuse like, oh, well, yeah, you just want people to, talk about them well, or I don't have to, they're not perfect. They don't make anything out of them. So you just want me to glaze them. No, but these niggas are fucking glaze. A motherfucker who put his hands on his wife. Y'all glaze that quick, fast. You glaze the quote unquote thug life, street life that a motherfucking comes from. Faster than you would somebody out here trying to get it from the mud. Uprightly. Somebody who has learned their mistakes. Somebody who is trying to educate themselves and do better. It is not to say that, street life doesn't, exist. But it's not necessarily that needs to be celebrated. Black people are going to face all types of conditions, both chosen and unchosen, particularly as far as our people. We are a marginalized, disparaged group in this country. So we know what time it is. A lot of the times that street life is forced upon us. I am not judging my brothers and sisters. Hell, I know exactly what that's like. I didn't grow up in no fucking picket fence and a goddamn lassie dog. But I'm not limited to my environment or my experiences, because I want to expand beyond that. That is not only the things that I can see or surround my intelligence with. It absolutely disgusted me hearing all of the parlance surrounding Devin Haney, for example, with Tank Davis. Tank Davis is a street nigga. That's why I like him. What's the name is spoon fed. Even Tank himself said that shit. Private school kid. Meanwhile, these niggas get fucking $500. They quick to fucking, run their asses out the hood to go shopping at a Gucci store. They're not going to motherfucking Tanisha store who got a hairdressing or a barbershop right across the street. They holding their ass to go give they $500 or $5,000 to a nigga outside of their own goddamn community. But you want to tell me you from the streets. Running your ass out your hood to go live in another motherfucker's area, neighborhood that don't want you there. You're not bringing that money back home. Where are you uplifting the kids? Where are you looking at these young brothers in your community and telling them how to do it better? Nothing wrong with being a private school kid. And there's nothing wrong with you because of the conditions that you were born in that don't reflect a private school life. I hated that talking point that was in boxing, and that still permeates here and there that you hear about Devin. Regis said it in the lead up to their fight. Y'all remember? Private school kid. Yeah, he don't know nothing. Yeah, me, I had to, yeah. I had to do it my hard way. Black people out here celebrating struggle more than they celebrate potential. We got to wake up. We can go on and on for days about that, ladies and gentlemen. That's a whole nother discussion. Another thing that I wanted to exalt and give attention to is the teamwork between Devin and Bill Haney. The unity, respect, and connection that the GOAT Bill and the Young King showed last night, beautiful people, that they have always showed and displayed throughout their career, is a thing of magic. And we saw it again last night. Teamwork makes the dream work. Pun intended. Absolutely exemplified last night. The dream not only worked, okay, but the dream was realized. The dream was actualized and materialized. They did not need superficiality, brothers and sisters. They did not need a catchy headline or two to get you to click on. They did not need no fucking likes. There was no frivolity, no triviality, whatever. That was 1,000% 10 toes worth of warriorship through and through, and a game plan that was cultivated and executed beautifully. Teamwork made the dream work last night, as it always has, and inshallah, as they would say, will always continue to prevail for them and unfold for them. Excellent work. He looked beautiful in that ring. He looked healthy in that ring, brothers and sisters. That was a 12-0 shutout. That man, Brian Norman, oh my God. Easy work. Cakewalk, as Mayweather would say. An absolute demolition job. Obliterated the Normans. Their game plan, their egos, their strategies, everything was obliterated last night. I love the war that we got. I love the display of heart. I love the grace of Devin after the fight. I love that he congratulated and gave a bow of a head to Norman Jr. and Sr. and thanked them for making him a champion. He's a graceful king. And it was good to see that sportsmanship. And it was good to see the Normans hug up on DHP afterwards as well. Let me check in with the brothers and sisters. Ooh, child. I'm fired up, you guys. Infinite blessings to, I know I went off for some time because I had to get that shit off, son. Salute to the good family. Let's see who we got. Yes, King Snoop. Yes. Yes, comrade. Yes, indeed. Salute to the King Freedom's March in the building. Infinite blessings to the King Freedom. Lovely to see you if you're still in the building. Let me see what my sister says. My sister Emma says, B. Norman fans had everybody believing the hype. Child, I knew he was a bump basher, but I thought he put up more of a fight. Devin ain't let that man do a thing. And he wanted to. Yes, he did, child. That man tried to. He tried to get something out there. He just was absolutely stifled. Devin would not let him do a motherfucking thing. Okay? Absolutely rendered ineffective. Ineffective. Salute to the King Devo. I see you in the building. Yes, King Jut. Young Black King. Young Black King. Yes, my beautiful Mama Chiquila. Salute to the brothers and sisters. Oh, I see you, King Khaled. Salute to you. I'm getting to that part, King. Okay. You have the same name as my cousin, spelling and everything. Salute to the King Khaled. Oh my goodness, hold on. The King Caldwell. That's one of my hitters, one of my big steppers. Salute to the King Caldwell. Infinite blessings to you. Lovely to see you. Yes, King. Yes, they deserve the full wrath of the goddess. The goddess lioness is not playing today, y'all. Okay. And the funny thing is like earlier I was like, you know what? I'm feeling kind of calm. But y'all, when I step on a battlefield, it's a nasty sight, baby. I had to give him that pressure, give him that work tonight. Salute to the King, Champ in the building. Infinite blessings to you. Lovely to see you. Lovely to see you. Absolutely, Jonathan. Yep. Oh my goodness, the King Ty. Infinite blessings to the King Ty. He says, Devin's heart, will, determination, his spirit cannot be broken. His faith can't be broken. He's built different. 1000%. Couldn't have said it better, King. 1000%. Infinite blessings to the good family. I see you guys talking. I'm just scrolling through. Yes, I see you guys was feeling me on that. I knew the good family would, resonate with a lot of these feelings. Salute to my beautiful sis, Tay Brown in the building. She says, Sugar Free. Hey, Sugar, my Leo sis. Infinite love to my sister, Tay. Thank you so much for joining, beautiful. And the King DP. What? One of the other generals of the book promotions? Infinite blessings to the King DP. Thank you so much for joining, King. And I see the King Muharib in the building. Yeah, you guys. Wasn't that something, oh my goodness, the King Judah himself, big stepping. Okay, Louisiana in the building. Infinite blessings to the King Judah. Thank you so much for joining, King. I'm happy to see you. You guys, a lot of emotions, a lot of analysis that we have been doing and undergoing just as boxing fans, right? Like I said, a lot of it, it's warranted. I think that we need to have that pressure as boxing fans. And my good family here, I can honestly say, from head to toe, everybody here is a supporter of real boxing. And I'm just so thankful that I have been able to meet a collective of beautiful Black brothers and sisters, from all, areas of the world. We got people in the Caribbean. We have people from the UK. We got people, of course, throughout the States here. Beautiful, beautiful minds, people who love this sport as much as I do, people who are passionate about this sport as much as I am, and for people who are really interested, invested in the well-being of the athletes who also uphold that level of respect for the sport. This is not a fucking fanboy show. I am not being a fangirl. When I say that Devin Haney is my #1 fighter in the world, I'm not being a fangirl. When I say that Earl Spence Jr. is one of my favorite fighters in the world, Deontay Wilder, you know what I mean? Anthony Joshua, you know what I'm saying? Shakur Stevenson. At one point, Tank Davis was among that list. You know what I mean? Antoine Russell. You know what I'm saying? All of these people who we can name and give out Abdullah, David Benavidez, Bam Rodriguez, all of these warriors. You know what I mean? It's not fanboyism or fangirlism with my good family in here. You know what I mean? These people who are athletes and explain and exemplifying that level of warriorship just so happen to notice and respect the level of warriorship being evinced and exemplified by these athletes. Because you can guarantee any one of these brothers or sisters, like the GOAT Clarissa Shields, you know what I'm saying, who didn't walk on that path, would not have our respect. It is not simply about liking somebody because they look cute, liking somebody because they have an accent, or whatever trivial, thing you want to think up. The warriorship and the respect speaks for itself when you are a real supporter of this sport. It doesn't matter what the package is. The interiority is where we are looking. If you have that heart and we see it, you will have that support and the respect from the real fans. It is not about anything contrived. Okay? That's why I love my good family here, and the people that I have met via this beautiful sport called boxing. It's imperative that we speak honestly as boxing fans and give our voices to that because, ladies and gentlemen, the propagandizement isn't only had as far as Devin Haney. We are being propagandized too. It is being thrown at us. That is why the logic of some people has been so readily and easily usurped by a lot of that narrative that has been going around. They have been inculcated with this logic. A lot of these people are so juvenile that they don't even know that they have been swindled into the positions that they find themselves in, swindled into letting go the passion of the sport and supplanting that with, fanfare, frivolity. I don't think that's ever a position for the Black boxing fan to be in, because this is already a sport that, even though you are supreme within, this is a sport that has never historically and even up till now hesitated to deem you unfit to some capacity or another, to deem you second rate, even though you are supreme here. The cognizance and consciousness of Black fans has to be A1 at all times, as best as possible, right? And I know that there are varying degrees in that, and people are going to express that however they want to, right? But to do not allow yourselves to be swindled by that level of fanfare, which only breeds a level of mindlessness. Nothing wrong with being a supporter of anyone, okay? I don't believe in, everybody having to support only one fighter. There's only one fighter who can exemplify character that, that would be juvenile to assume. I don't care who one likes. As long as there is respect involved, as long as these people are respecting the sport that we say that we love, the foundations of this sport, it is what the fuck it is. And our fighters are not going to go along to get along. This is war at the end of the day. We are in a combat sport, right? So that we are here to do our just due as far as warfare is concerned. But there is nothing wrong with competition, brothers and sisters. It is healthy. I would even posit that it is imperative to have that level of expression. And we got to go through each other to get that. You know what I mean? But as long as it is in the spirit of sportsmanship and proper competition, it's fair game. But mindlessness doesn't serve anybody well. And unfortunately, as we discussed earlier, and as we have always discussed here on this platform and on the platforms of the people that we love and support, that's something that we take issue with. Now, let me get a little bit into the Norman side of things, if I can, really quickly. Remember the unpreparedness that I was talking to you guys about last week? Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, was that not a display of absolute unreadiness last night? You let me know. As I take a sip of water, hold on. Was that not a level of unreadiness and unpreparedness that we saw last evening? Just think about all the things that we spoke about last week that I kind of divulged with you, right? The matter of their not being timely, right? The tardiness in when they showed up to Saudi. The spending excessive amounts of time bantering and talking across social media instead of being focused, 1000% on. The crazy thing is that people have been jumping on Bill Haney because for this fight, outside of the moments, of course, where Bill went at it with Norman Sr., and the little appearances that he made, pretty much majoritively speaking, Trill Bill was not really out here like that. You know what I mean? He was with his head down with his son, training, getting the war plan ready, getting battle ready. You understand? And a lot of people try to disavow him for that. What crazy is to me is like, These people are the same people that go around crying like a bunch of bitches repeatedly over the years about how too talkative Bill has been. Too much in the forefront. Speaking too alacritously in the place of his son. Right? Oh, you can't get Bill to sit down. That's why I don't like Bill. He talked too much. Bill talked himself out of a goddamn, shoebox. But all of a sudden, this camp, here is Bill Haney, a little bit more reticent about just jumping senselessly in front of cameras and in front of microphones. And there is also now a complaint. So that the problems that these fucking chumps have has nothing to do with what they are exclaiming and proclaiming is the issue. It's just that they want to bitch and complain, ladies and gentlemen, in other words. But they had nothing to say about Norman Sr. About him excessively channel hopping. Couldn't keep that man away from a camera. Had to beat him with a goddamn broom, and that barely worked to keep him out from being in front of a camera. I didn't hear no complaints about that. When he was sweet talking y'all to believing all the bullshit narratives that he was spinning, actually that he had been regurgitating from these pussies, absolutely regurgitating. Reciting the talking points of race fans and hating ass niggas alike. Y'all had no problem when he was spewing this bullshit everywhere in the lead up to these fights this past 3 months. Nobody said he was excessive. This is a part of the unreadiness that I was calling out last week, brothers and sisters, so that this man's mind was so totally geared towards, was so totally centered around the idea of the spotlight, the newly garnered spotlight that he had acquired, that he became obsessive with the media attention. To my understanding, my beautiful king, BFTB, shared on his live earlier today that within moments of taking that defeat to the young king, in the biggest fight of his career thus far, that soon after that defeat, Norman Sr. leaves the side of his son to do what? Talk to a motherfucking YouTuber. So that the mindset, ladies and gentlemen, was, has been totally usurped by a need to pander, which is wild work to me. I'm looking at it in my head. I'm like, what the fuck? Nothing could make me, in the biggest event or otherwise of my child's life, to go hopping from his side to go talk to a motherfucker who ain't gonna give a fuck about me 3 days from now, and who probably most likely didn't give a fuck about him the moment Devin's hands was raised instead of his son's. Here you go hauling your ass off to go talk to him, though. Because that's the only nigga that's going to give you some attention. I wonder if these motherfuckers who he has been so, ready to go jump in the lap of on these channels, I wonder if they still going to hold and wave their flags in the coming week. What are the next 7 days going to look like, brothers and sisters? Are we going to hear the bandwagon riding the songs, the parades? Are we going to hear people cheering on and cheering for the Norman name? Are we going to hear testaments of their power within the coming 7 days, brothers and sisters? Are we going to hear songs about how he is the next Hagler? Is he going to be compared to the Iron Mike Tyson in the coming 7 days, brothers and sisters? Is he going to be heralded as the second coming of anything? Now, what's very disappointing for me is that the young Norman was a champion. The young Norman is a young brother. And he took his first step up fight. He ventured into stepping into uncharted, unknown territory. He had the heart and the gall enough to do that. And so he deserved a level of respect that far exceeded people like Tank Davis, brothers and sisters. Let's not get it twisted. He earned and deserved a respect that far exceeds even Shakur Stevenson, who ducked. That exceeds that of Teofimo Lopez, who ducked. And Boots Ennis, who bounced. Whether you like them or not, that's the reality. They evaded and dodged the young king when he called them out and put them on a hit list. But it was one man who said yes, and that was the young B. Norman, the young lion. So what's very disheartening for me, brothers and sisters, is that even though the man deserves a level of respect for fighting, taking on the fight and completing that fight on his feet, even though he was not victorious in this particular battle, he definitely deserves some respect. And it's quite unfortunate how these meat glazers, knee pad freaks, sassy crusaders will not uphold him. In the coming 7 days, there will be no songs about Brian Norman anymore. There will be no lore created around him anymore. There will be no mythologizing of his skills anymore, brothers and sisters. They would have left him flat on the ground. That's what's unfortunate. That shit is not right to me at all. Where are the firecrackers that are going to be up in the air for this man? It's quite disheartening. I'm looking at it in my mind. It's very disheartening. But that is a part of the unpreparedness that they got swindled by as well. Is that they were not ready or willing to accept that their newfound fame was a charade for many people. Not that they did not have genuine people who, let's say, who were newly introduced to him because of that Sasaki fight, that he had people that was drawn to him because they were interested in him and who may, you know what I'm saying? Because there were people that may have been like, oh, okay, even though there probably been however few of them. I'm sure that there were people who had just found out about him that were genuinely interested in seeing who he is, period, right? But that the majority of these people who were swarming around like vultures around the young Norman were only there because they were trying to satiate within them a hope and a prayer that he would dethrone Devin. That is the only reason, brothers and sisters. That is the bottom line of it. And when the real ones, when the conscious brothers and sisters were trying to make these people privy of that, they waved their hand and shushed us to the side. So it's going to be quite the hard fall over the next few days and weeks and months, brothers and sisters, that Team Norman is going to have to bear. That fall from grace is going to be hard as fuck. And do you know how many relationships were severed because of this whole shit? I heard people talking shit about me. People I thought was cool. All because they had Team Norman and I'm heavy on the DHP side. Nothing less. People who I've seen in chats, big me up, kissy emojis, hearts, grand risings, talking shit on their platforms. And I'm sure the good brothers and sisters who do this have come across the same things. Crazy work. To think that a boxing match would call out the characters, but that is exactly what I was talking about, people. It is beyond that. Things tend to get crystallized in boxing, funny enough, right? Because I've never once sat on my channel and talked about any person that I have come across in these boxing streets in any type of disparaging or maligning way, simply because they had a pick of a particular fucking fighter. Bitch. You better stay on that side, bitch. And if this shit stings you, bitch, I'm fucking talking to you, bitch. Yeah. Don't think I didn't fucking see you. Anyway, the unpreparedness of the Normans was something to behold, and it's something that a lot of us, were privy to, in observing this whole spectacle. What I also want to express is that unpreparedness also showed up in the coaching in the corner of the Normans. Where was the coaching of Norman Sr.? Where was the coaching, ladies and gentlemen? Where was the prowess? Where was the proper guidance? Did we see any captain of any ship, ladies and gentlemen, last night? I didn't see any generalship in that corner. Does anybody recall anything? Any direction? Any viable means of direction that was given to that young man while he had to go in the middle of that storm by himself? Pun intended. The storm found himself among a storm. Ain't that ironic? A storm that he couldn't weather. Where was his guidance? Did anybody see it? Interesting. Where was the wisdom of Norman Sr. in the corner, ladies and gentlemen? Maybe he tried his best. Maybe he tried his best, but I saw no effective game plan being executed whatsoever. And I would say a majority of that had to do with DHP's excellent and proper execution of their own. But surely one would have expected, as my beautiful sister Emma posited earlier, that he would show up at least somewhat better than what we saw last evening. I mean, considering all the shit talking that was done, right? Another exemplification of the unpreparedness, beautiful people, was that motherfucking parking lot jump rope. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen. When we discussed that last week, it really was kind of like, I thought it was a parody too. I'm like, well, this can't be real. Motherfuckers was literally in the goddamn garage jumping rope while people was trying to back up to exit the premises. These people are jumping rope all in motherfuckers' way, risking being ran over. All because they did not properly schedule in the operating hours of that particular gym, brothers and sisters, which is crazy work. This is the unreadiness that it displayed itself. For whatever reason, the mentality was not there. And this was the time, if ever there was one, to show it. They could not execute any game plan before the ring or in the ring, apparently. Another crazy thing that we witnessed, a lot of us brothers and sisters, was that instead of this being, a situation where this man is locked in 10 toes, head down in training mode, when he did finally arrive to Saudi with his son, ladies and gentlemen, this man was out on shopping sprees. No more shopping sprees, no more late night, no more VIP, no more dough. We can't even kick it looking ass. This motherfucker was on shopping sprees, y'all. Buying motherfucking Nikes? We gotta take it there, brothers and sisters. I want to call it like it is. This is what the fuck I saw, bro. Just happy to be buying, boxes and boxes of shoes while you out there in war territory. You're trying to get your motherfucking shop on and wind up getting mollywopped on. What the fuck is going on, people? What is this unpreparedness? I mean, it was just levels and levels and levels and levels of nonstop signs and red flags, brothers and sisters. Nikes has your attention at a time like this? Hopefully the Normans go back to their drawing board, because obviously they were out of their depth in more ways than we could imagine. Hopefully they learn from the situation. Because, if they are ever so aligned enough to be put in a position again where they are in a high level, high profile fight, hopefully they have at their complete disposal a better understanding of how to handle and exemplify a level of professionalism. That was not a level of professionalism that I saw. I did not see that conducted, not within their moves. They probably did have the best of intentions, right? But those things can get convoluted when you are distracted by anything purposeless. I did not see vision. I saw a lot of ego tripping. Now, let me check in with the good family before I close this out. I know I've been cooking for a while. I really wanted to kind of like consolidate everything, but I just let the fire go when it's burning. Salute to the good people. Salute to the King Prize. I see you. Yeah. Let me check in with the good family real quick. Salute to the King PG. Yes, Queen Mother Chiquila. He was absolutely a tourist for sure. Yes, Caldwell. He says, told y'all. Brian try and go. What? Brian try and go get sent home crying, and I wasn't lying. Devin and 5. Facts, King Caldwell. Big facts. Okay, you ain't never lied. Did you, twin? Did you? Listen, I had to go there with that, the old school joint, because that's what he was doing. That's what he was goddamn doing. He wasn't prepared for no damn war. He was going on a goddamn shopping spree, twin. We don't have time for that. We do that after the battle is had, fought, and won. You know what I mean? Hey, salute to my brother, the King Insane, California love in New York. You already know what time it is, King. Infinite blessings to the King Insane. I heard you cooking earlier today on Champ Size channel. And real talk, I heard you cooking, all week, really, in the previous week. Whenever I popped into, let's say, Artman's channel or something like that. So salute to the King Insane, who has been giving some very entertaining perspective, on this fight. Yes. Did you? Not me. Not me, Queen Mama. I'm so sorry for nothing. Nothing at all. Salute to the King Stephen. He says, their manager lady is a disgrace for not arranging it. I mean, everything was so lackadaisical and unhinged. Way too many things that need be. You understand? And like I said, they gotta go back to the drawing board. And I think they're gonna take a lot of lessons. And if they are really, really about this sport and about solidifying their place within it, carving out a lane to some degree or another of their own, I think that they will find a lot of fruit here, because certainly the experience is replete that they have gained from this situation, and from being on this level, but just what it takes and what it looks like being on this level. I think they took a lot of that for granted, and they purposely overlooked that as far as Devin, as if Devin just rolled out of his bed into championship and into supremacy. That's not true. It was hand carved, brick by brick by brick. And now that he is on this level, they talked about things like Devin Haney having a team of people. Or I don't have people doing things for me, or I cook my own food. And well, that's not what the fuck you do when you're on championship elite level. Normans, both of y'all, take notes, because you would hope to be there one day, right? Take notes from the young King Devin. It is imperative that one has a team when they are operating on an elite level, so that they can keep their total focus and concentration on sharpening the sword. So yes, he has a chef. Yes, there is a nutritionist. Yes, there is a masseuse. Yes, there is strength and conditioning people. Yes, there are people around him that are going to take care of different things. That's imperative when you are operating on this level. Take notes. But that's that ego shit that I was talking. He's trying to land-based Devin, for setting up a strong structure for himself. He's not the only one that does it. Go study Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua's training camps be A1 as well. Any elite you can think of. They have these things in place so that their focus can be set up on the victory, surrounding that battle. He sets people in place, soldiers in place, to take care of the things surrounding that, to ensure his success so that he can remain locked in on his target. Crazy work to me, you guys. Now, let me salute to the King Intelligent. I see you. Salute to the King. Let me touch on these bruised knee pad patrol boys. Where they at, y'all? Where are the bruised knee patrol motherfuckers at? Because there's a lot of bruised knees, bruised egos out here. And it's mighty fucking quiet, considering all of the banter we've been hearing all of this time. Where are these sassy ass motherfuckers at? Has anybody spot one? I spotted a few, but they were mighty soft-spoken. Very soft-spoken, right? There was no puffing of chests, no snapping of necks. Where did all the bass in their voice go? It's quiet out here, y'all. I'm looking at tumbleweeds rolling across the floor of these boxing streets, of these YouTube streets. People want to speak softly. What's going on? Where's Tim Bradley, old bucket biscuit motherfucking eating ass at? I saw him try to pop out and act like he don't have nothing to apologize for, but that's only because he feels fucking stupid. He know he got to eat his words. So he tried to save face and pop out of the closet a little bit. But he butt hurt nonetheless. Where these haters at? Why is it so fucking quiet? All that bopping of your gums that these bitches been doing, poking their chest out, right? All of that shit. All the clout chasing that was done for the clickbait. Mighty fucking quiet. Because y'all sure didn't give a damn if y'all was telling the truth or anything otherwise. Y'all didn't give a fuck if what you were saying had credibility or not, whether it was backed in fact or history or not. You motherfuckers were augmenting attributes onto Brian Norman as if he had proven anything to tell you that he had a superior jab, superior IQ, superior power than Devin. Where the fuck y'all at? Don't get quiet on me now, you bitches. Y'all are eating more than crow. All of a sudden, y'all can't stand on y'all word, but y'all was so arrogant, so pompous in your illogical reasoning. Now that you have been proven absolutely and thoroughly and completely wrong, you want to hide, but that's just like the coward. Just like the coward. That's commonplace for a lot of these sassy niggas. You would run and hide. Because none of y'all niggas got heart. Only when it's time to lambaste another man. To lambaste the progress and potential of another man. That's when your voices get loud. When it's time to reckon with reality, none of you motherfuckers are anywhere to be found anywhere. Where all the Devin Haney's going to sleep ass niggas? Y'all remember? Y'all know them. You know, we couldn't count. You know, there was like stars in the sky. We could never get to the finishing of how many of these motherfuckers we've been running into. Millions of them. Like counting the goddamn constellations. Couldn't stop counting the endlessness. Now we can't find, but 3? What happened to the left hook ass niggas? Oh, Devin better watch that left hook now. You hear? He can't do a goddamn thing. That's his kryptonite now. He gonna be put down by that little hook. Watch out for that left hook now. Where the ass is at? What happened to Devin Haney? You're not ready. Oh, the PTSD, Devin. Devin, what about the PTSD, Devin? Are you okay with the PTSD, Devin? Devin, how do you spell PTSD? PSTD, PDTST, and every other way that you want to spin that shit around. Where the ass is at? The PTSD crusade. Did Devin have PTSD in that ring, ladies and gentlemen? Was Devin afraid of anything in that ring, left hook or otherwise? Was it Devin Haney that knocked that motherfucker down to the ground in submission with a left hook? Interesting. Did that PTSD get cured overnight? Was it magic? Did somebody wave a magic wand and absolutely dispelled all of these claims of PTSD, left him, rendered completely non-existent with the PTSD? What happened? Where are you guys at? All of these sassy niggas that vouched for this, that went to the mountaintop on their soapboxes of vouching for this alleged PTSD. Where are they at? The motherfucking overnight internet doctors who can suddenly spot the symptoms of PTSD in a nigga. Where are you at? Where's your fucking consultation at now? Brian Norman didn't win a single goddamn round in that fight, ladies and gentlemen. Not a single round. Was that PTSD? Interesting. Don't get quiet now. You know what I mean? Don't get quiet now, fucking fanboys. Go ahead and make your proclamations to the mountaintop the way y'all been. Where are all these sassy niggas now? Heartless cowards. Go ahead and tell me how he's Hagler's second coming and how he was going to make food of Devin. Interesting. Y'all scattering like roaches, and it ain't even been 24 hours barely. It didn't even take a day for these sassy niggas to already look for the exit outside of somebody they were just exalting as their king. Worthless pieces of crap. Because you know what? Let's say if the opposite outcome was had last evening and Devin Haney came up short, you know where I would have been? 10 toes next to him. And a lot of the real ones in the building today would have been right next to me, next to him, next to Bill. We would have been riding for the king in full support. These sassy niggas only ride the bandwagon of what's quote unquote popular, of what's the new trend of the moment. Disgusting work to me. Devin Haney and his position in boxing and the position of Bill Haney ought to be learned from myriad angles and respects. I think that any father-son duo, can learn to look towards them and towards, the other relationships that have been cultivated and upright, like David Benavidez and his father, you know what I'm saying? And the great father-son duos and stuff like that. Look to that. That is needed. That's a beautiful relationship that should be cultivated and harnessed, right? And we could also look to DHP for their exemplary, rise and claim towards legacy, to not taking the easy outs, to loving the sport enough to say that I will not disrespect myself to back down away from making myself the best through whatever fire I have to pass through. That is something to sit back and behold and understand for what it is and respect for what it is thoroughly. You don't have to necessarily agree with everything that is said by Bill Haney in the heat of passion when he is promoting his son or whatever these people claim to be problematic about that man, right? But that you can look at the work ethic that speaks for itself. You can look at their severity, their seriousness in accomplishing and attaining the mission. That's a level of Black excellence that cannot be denied and that will always have my support, recognition, and acclaim for. All of these people are, glamorizing positions that they have not even earned for themselves throughout boxing. We see that time and time again all over the place. Boxing has become so infested with this logic, this preciousness, this entitlement that is absolutely unearned. And people are quick to throw in the lap a level of credence for these people who refuse to prove themselves on that level, but want to be accredited with this level of exaltation that they think is due them. Meanwhile, you got the young king, as privileged as you guys want to fantasize about him being, is out here in the trenches, taking on challenges that none of these people even think twice about doing. 3 different divisions, becoming undisputed in one of them, and instantly upon his debut, an entrance into a division, becoming an instant champion. That's next level. And the young king has only begun. It's still very, very early in his career, even though he is an OG. He is a young OG, just as he said. All the pillow-fisted narratives that we have heard about this man, well, those pillow fists surely dropped that motherfucker to his goddamn knees last night. Mind you, didn't Brian Norman sit up there in front of Devin? And Devin's like, well, what if I put you down? Right? Because he had been, had a battery in his back from all of these sassy ass crusaders pumping him up with all types of false confidence, false support, that he was untouchable and that Devin Haney had feathers for hands. And Devin's like, well, what if I put you down? He's like, you can't. You can't put me down. Why? Because you don't got nothing in those gloves. That's Norman Jr. in front of the young king. And young king says, I can't? Remember this day. Remember this day. And he showed him that there's levels last night because he made him taste that goddamn canvas. Salute to the Haneys. Salute to boxing fans. We had a wonderful show, right? Salute to the Normans, for taking the call, answering the call. You know what I mean? Salute to the real truth tellers out there, who have been placing the importance and integrity of the sport at the forefront. You know what I mean? And providing a counterpoison to all of the nonsensical, contrived, baseless narratives that have been spun, not only about Devin Haney, but of course, primarily him, because he is, what we would say, quote unquote, the most hated in the sport, right? But just people who have been pumping a whole bunch of, juvenility and imbecility in the sport as a whole. We need to eradicate that. We need to eradicate that from boxing because it's taking away from the spirit of the sport, the warriorship that we are all here for. We don't need that convoluted with soap opera spun tales. And definitely shout out to the boxing fans because we most certainly won last night. That victory was for us, the real boxing fan. So salute to the brothers and sisters in the building. Let me check in with the family one last time, see what I missed. Caldwell said, DVD, don't violate Devin. Right? Violate, I'm going to have to demonstrate. You know what I'm saying? And that also brings to mind that this notion that they were also spinning on the Norman side, that Devin Haney is somehow out of line, for, having quoted Floyd Mayweather. I don't know what these people in boxing try to throw that narrative out there. I don't know if they are jealous because ever since he was a pup, being under the tutelage of Floyd Sr., you know what I'm saying? That they have this, notion that Devin Haney is trying to, clone himself into an image of Floyd, which is not true. Respect and emulation should be had. There should be an OG, an elder that you look up to in the sport, and they should be great. And Floyd is one of those greats. These people mock Devin for every goddamn thing. It don't even matter. He can't even look up to the people who paved the way for him. This is the level of imbecility that's been going on in boxing. Oh, you trying to be like Floyd. Why the fuck wouldn't I call myself him? Why wouldn't I quote a GOAT? They paved the way for me to be where I am. I am myself on this path, but I know whose shoulders I stand on. These people are idiots. Crazy work to me, you guys. Anyway, Devin Haney over everybody. Okay? Yes. That's my position. Right? I love warriorship. I love heart. And there is no active fighter in the world right now today for me who exemplifies that to the degree of the young king. I support him just like I support, your Bud Crawfords, people on that level, your Usyks, all these people that they hold in high regard. Devin Haney is absolutely pound for pound. Hands down. He earned his place and he solidified his stature yet again. I cannot wait to see whatever he has coming up next. Hopefully he gets his rest. It's definitely due to him. Take his time, figure out whatever it is that he wants to do. Enjoy his baby, enjoy his family, enjoy his belt, and get his rest, recover, do whatever he needs to do. Wonderful performance, wonderful night of boxing. And whatever he does next, I'll be 10 toes next to that. You know what I mean? So salute to the brothers and sisters. I think I'll end it there. Oh, hold on. I think I got some super chats, beautiful people. Let me check in with the people who supported the channel. Before I get to that, definitely hit the like button, good people. On your way out as I read these super chats. Salute to my big brother, the Druth. He says, speak. I'm on the job, King. Salute to Battlefield Boxing MMA. He says, get him, sis. Wait, bully my ass. Facts. Salute to my king, my brother, the King Stephen X. He says, the dream is our shining black prince. We must cherish and protect him and his father. Our enemies are plotting and planning. God is planning too. 1000%. And well said, King Stephen. Infinite blessings to you always. Salute to the King Freedom, 10 toes with the support as usual. Wonderful to see you, King. Thank you so much for joining. And thank you for the support of the channel. And last, definitely not least though, my king, the lovely twin, Daryl Anderson in the building. Salute to you. He says, color in the chat for an amazing cook this Sunday. We are thankful for your channel, Sugar Free. Great stuff, twin. Thank you so much, King, for those words. I definitely appreciate my twin, and infinite blessings to the brothers and sisters who showed up 10 toes for some wonderful boxing talk as we celebrate the phenomenal victory of the young king, Devin Haney. And salute to the whole card as well. I know I didn't really tap into that whole card, but salute to the young king, Abdullah. Salute to the king, David Benavidez, for a wonderful stoppage victory over Yard. Salute to, like I said, Abdullah for having to be tested thoroughly and deeply, right? He went into deep waters with Noakes. Shout out to Noakes, who put on a phenomenal performance. Who had, showed a heart of a lion. Salute to Bam Rodriguez for his victory. This was a wonderful card, a wonderful night of boxing. Salute to Turkey. This was definitely the fight card of the year. Like I said, us boxing fans have been well fed, right? So infinite blessings to the good family. I think I'm going to end it there. Infinite blessings to you. Have a wonderful week ahead, beautiful people. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.